All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving into a world where your pet might be a tarantula, or a giant lizard, or even a bird that will probably outlive you. We are talking all about exotic pets. And believe me, the reality behind that wow factor is way more complex and honestly, way more fascinating than you might think. So, we're starting our journey with a trip to one of the greatest exotic pet stores in America. And when I say this place has everything, I mean everything. Just picture it. You walk in and you're surrounded by these massive fish tanks, giant tortoises just roaming around, chameleons, skunks, birds of every color you can imagine. It's like stepping into a living, breathing museum of the world's most incredible creatures. But once you get past that initial shock and awe, you start to realize these animals have some pretty big secrets. We're going to get into their hidden intelligence, we're going to debunk some of the big fears people have, and we're going to talk about the serious commitment it takes to actually bring one home. So let's take a look around. The sheer variety in here is just staggering. I mean, over on one side, you've got these smooth-sided toads that are literally the size of your fist. Then, right over here, you have sulcata tortoises that could easily outlive every single one of us. We're talking 150 years or more. And look at the tails on some of these lizards. It's just a little snapshot of nature's wild side, all right here under one roof. Okay, so now let's talk about the animals that kind of make most people take a little step back. Yeah, we're starting with spiders. The one creature that gives so many of us the creeps. But the question is that fear always justified? This is the big one, isn't it? When you see a spider, especially a big, hairy tarantula, your first thought is probably, how dangerous is that bite? Well, here's the thing, and this might surprise you. Technically, yeah, every single spider out there is venomous. But, and this is a huge but, what really matters isn't just that they have venom, it's how potent that venom is. And that danger level is all over the map depending on the species. So for a really common pet tarantula like the rose hair, the fear is just totally blown out of proportion. As the store expert Ryan puts it, a bite from one of these is really no worse than a bee sting. And it's less about their temperament and more about their tolerance. They get used to being handled, but it's not something they really enjoy. Now, while we might overestimate the danger of a tarantula, some fears are absolutely 100% justified. Just look at the Burmese python. The numbers here are just mind-blowing. This is the second heaviest snake in the entire world. A female can get up to 18 feet long and weigh 200 pounds. This isn't about just being brave. It's about respecting pure power. You should never, ever handle a snake this big by yourself. It's a two-person job minimum, and that's a whole different kind of responsibility for an owner. Okay, so moving beyond just fear and size, there's this whole other layer to these animals that most people completely miss: their intelligence. We don't really think of reptiles as being brainy, right? Well, get ready to have that idea completely turned on its head. Now check this out. $5,500. That is the price tag for a Bell's Phase Lace monitor. So you gotta ask, what on earth makes a lizard worth that much money? It's not just its cool cow-like pattern or because it's rare. The answer is something else entirely. And there it is. That massive price tag, it's all tied to its incredible intelligence. This isn't just some lizard that sits in a tank. This is a thinking, learning animal that's about as smart as your average cat. It can be trained, it can be disciplined, it can actually form a real bond with its owner. And this slide right here, this might be the most important lesson of all. Just look at the two sides. An animal's personality is a direct reflection of its owner's effort. With consistent, gentle handling when it's young, you get the animal on the left, sweet as a puppy. Without that effort, you get the animal on the right, a powerful, hyper-carnivore that is genuinely dangerous. The owner is the only thing that makes the difference. That whole idea of owner responsibility brings us to what is maybe the most overwhelming part of owning an exotic pet: the incredible length of the commitment. We're not talking about a 10 or 15-year dog or cat here. For some of these animals, you're signing up for a lifetime, and maybe even longer. So take this green-winged macaw. In captivity, if you take good care of it, it can live up to 95 years. Let that sink in for a second. 95. That's one of the longest living animals on the entire planet. This timeline really just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Look at this. A 28-year-old buys a young macaw. By the time that owner is 68, ready to retire, the bird is just 44. It's only middle-aged. For that owner to see the end of the bird's life, they'd have to live to be 116 years old. This isn't just a pet. It's basically a family heirloom. It's an animal that you literally have to include in your will. And it's not just birds. Meet the kinkajou. Now, it kind of looks like a monkey, right? But it's actually part of the raccoon family. And get this, its intelligence is right on par with a human toddler, a 2-year-old. And this quote just says it all. A kinkajou can live for over 20 years, and for that entire time you have an animal that's smart enough to open simple locks, doors, even windows. It needs nonstop entertainment and a completely baby-proofed room of its own. It is, quite literally, a perpetual 2-year-old that just never grows up. So, after all this, the fear, the incredible intelligence, the mind-boggling lifespans, what's the big takeaway? Well, it all keeps circling back to the same central idea: the absolute, total responsibility of the owner. That puppy dog lizard or the sweet kinkajou, none of them are just born that way. Their friendly temperament is built, piece, by following these exact steps. It takes tons of research, daily training from day one, a custom-built environment, and really important medical care. The animal you end up with is the animal you build. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. The potential to have a tame, amazing exotic pet is there. It's possible. But it all rests on you. So beyond how cool they look or their incredible biology, you have to ask yourself the really hard question. Are you truly ready for a commitment that could literally last longer than your own lifetime?